Before we begin, if you're someone who enjoys rare finds, vintage coins, or hidden treasures from the past, hit that subscribe button now. This channel is built for collectors like you. Today, we're not just talking about a coin. We're stepping back in time to a moment frozen in bronze. You're going to want to stay until the end because the value of what we're about to uncover might just surprise you. Take a moment. Think about the year 1969. The world was changing. A man had just walked on the moon. Music was transforming culture. And in the southern tip of Africa, a quiet revolution was also happening. A small coin, unnoticed by most, was being struck in the South African Mint. Just 2 cents. That's it. But decades later, that tiny object would become a sought-after piece for collectors across the world. And you may just have it in your drawer, your old box of coins, or tucked away among your father's things. This is the story of the 1969 South Africa 2-cent coin. Now, I know what you're thinking. What could possibly be so interesting about a coin that once bought barely a piece of gum? But this coin is more than metal. It is memory. It is history. It is scarcity. And like all things forgotten, it has quietly grown in curiosity and, in some rare cases, value. Let me paint the picture. On the front of this coin, you'll see the profile of a man. Sharp nose, high collar, eyes set forward with purpose. That's Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator. His image appeared on South African coins for years. To the untrained eye, just another old portrait. But to those who know, it's a symbol of origins, of legacy, of deep and sometimes controversial history. His face marks the beginning of the colonial settlement in the Cape. This coin, in your palm, carries that story forward. Turn it over, and you'll find something powerful, an animal in motion. The wildebeest. Muscular, wild, caught mid-stride across the African plains. It isn't just a design. It represents endurance, power, and freedom. This isn't an ornamental touch. This is a stamp of identity. And that, right there, is what makes this coin more than change. It makes it a story. Now let's talk physical details, the kind that matter to the collector's eye. This coin was struck in bronze. When new, it glowed with a reddish-golden hue. Over time, it darkened, developing a rich, aged tone. That patina is part of its charm. The diameter is just over 22 millimeters. It weighs about 4 grams. You'd feel its age in your hand, its rough edges, the texture of decades. The edge is smooth, not reeded, which was common for coins of its kind. If you ever feel a coin like this and it has grooves on the edge, it's not the 1969 2-cent millions were minted. But millions don't last. Coins are lost, melted, damaged, tossed aside. So now, over 50 years later, the number of good condition survivors is far fewer than you might think, especially those that haven't been cleaned, scratched, or corroded. That's what collectors are looking for: condition, authenticity, and originality. Let's talk condition for a second, because it matters. If you have one of these coins, pick it up. Look at it closely. Is the face of Van Riebeeck sharp and clear? Can you see lines in his hair? Are the wildebeest's legs crisp and well-defined? Or is everything smooth and faded? The better the detail, the more interest from collectors. And here's a tip: never polish or clean it. That might sound strange, but collectors value originality, even if it's dusty or dull. A cleaned coin loses its appeal and often its value. Now, not all coins are created equal. Some were struck in higher quality as proofs, made for collectors at the time, with special care and finish. These are rare and, if untouched, highly valuable. Most people never see one in person. But maybe, just maybe, you've got something special sitting quietly among old things, waiting to be rediscovered. It's also worth noting that the language on the coin comes in 2 versions. One reads SUID Africa, and the other reads South Africa. They were made for bilingual circulation. Some collectors seek out both versions. Some specialize in just one. But either way, the version matters. It tells you about where and how it was circulated, and sometimes it affects value. If you're the kind of man who appreciates legacy, this coin will speak to you. You grew up in a time where objects had weight, meaning, permanence. This coin is from that era. It saw moments: births, deaths, marriages, first jobs, final paychecks. It passed through hands that built railroads, farmed land, and shaped nations. And now, you hold it. So here's what you need to do. Go to your coin jar. Check your drawers. Ask your father or uncle if they kept old currency. Look for the year. 1969. Look for the design. Van Riebeek on the front. Wildebeest on the back. And if you find one, don't rush. Examine it. Appreciate it. Because even if it's not worth a fortune, it's worth remembering. Now I know you're wondering, what's it worth? This is where it gets interesting. A circulated, common condition 1969 South Africa 2-cent coin might fetch around $1. Maybe less, maybe more, depending on how clean, detailed, and preserved it is. But, and this is important, if you have a proof version or one in pristine, untouched condition, it can fetch much more. Some collectors have paid significant premiums for near-perfect examples. In rare cases, these coins have been offered for hundreds. And in the most extreme circumstances, certain proof-quality coins in auctions and rare private collections have reached up into the thousands. Though those are incredibly rare and unlikely to be found in everyday circulation. The bottom line is this: most won't make you rich, but some just might. And for those who see the value not just in dollars, but in time, history, and craftsmanship, the reward is already there. Thank you for staying until the end. If this story sparked something in you, a memory, a curiosity, or even a hunt for forgotten treasures, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be bringing more stories like this one, full of history, mystery, and value you can hold in your hand. Until next time, keep collecting, keep remembering, and keep discovering.
Welcome to Coin Finder. Are you ready to uncover the hidden treasures that time has left behind? Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey into the world of rare coins, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving deep into numismatic history, exploring coins that carry memories, stories, and yes, even unexpected value. For those of you who've seen it all, from pre-democracy eras to economic upheavals, you know a coin's true value goes far beyond what's stamped on its surface. But here's a question for you. Do you know which coins are worth more than you think? Today we ask, what if that old coin sitting in your drawer could be worth $56,000? On CoinsQuester, we don't just talk about the rarest finds, we're revealing secrets to growing your collection, understanding real coin value, and showing how even the most common-looking coin might be hiding a fortune. South Africa, gentlemen, remember the 1965 2-cent coin from South Africa? To most, it was just pocket change. But today, this copper beauty might be worth thousands, depending on its condition. Let's rewind. 1965 was a time of transition in South Africa, politically, socially, and economically. The 2-cent coin minted that year wasn't just a currency. It was a snapshot of the country's identity at the time. Back then, nobody imagined this coin would become a sought-after collector's item. But here's the twist. Some 1965 South Africa 2-cent coins are now selling for up to $56,000 in auctions and private sales. Yes, you heard that right. Let's break it down. Coin details: front, obverse, side design. Features Jan van Riebeek, the Dutch colonial administrator and founder of Cape Town. His portrait was widely used on South African currency during this era, a symbol of the early colonial period. Back, reverse, side design. Depicts two sparrows perched on branches, representing peace, harmony, and the natural beauty of South Africa. Below is the denomination 2C, with South Africa, Suid-Africa, and the year 1965 encircling the design. Metal composition. The 1965 2-cent coin was made of bronze, which gives it a rich, warm tone and a lasting quality. Edge. Plain edge, but don't let that simplicity fool you. This coin holds secrets, value, and collectability. While many 1965 2C coins remain in circulation or in collections, only a few were preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. A perfect mint state coin, with no wear, scratches, or discoloration, can fetch up to $56,000 on the collector's market today. These coins are especially prized if they were part of proof sets, special mintings, or have unique mint errors. What influences the value? Condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. A graded MS65 Plus coin is where the big money lies. Rarity. While the 2C was common in circulation, uncirculated versions or error coins from this year are extremely rare. Demand. Interest in pre-1970s South African coins is growing, especially among collectors looking to preserve African and colonial history. If you had known then what you know now, would you have held on to that little 2-cent coin? For many, it was just change. But today, it's a lesson, a reminder that in times of economic or political change, even the smallest coin can hold lasting value. Have you ever lost wealth to inflation? Have you watched your savings evaporate? Or maybe you've kept a few coins from the past, just in case. This coin is a reminder of resilience, and for some, a very real return on memory. If you've got old South African coins tucked away, now's the time to dig them out. That little bronze 2C from 1965, it could be your hidden treasure. Comment below. Have you ever come across this coin? What do you remember from the era when it was in circulation? Like this video if you've ever thought this old coin might be worth something. Share this with someone who grew up in 60s or 70s South Africa. Maybe they've got one of these coins in a drawer. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because next time on Coin Finder, we're uncovering more forgotten coins with unbelievable value. Stay curious, stay informed, and let's keep unlocking the treasures of the past together.